All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into the Fit CEO podcast. We have another one of our rock star clients here today, Sarina Taylor, and she's here to tell you about her first month in NLCA and how she's absolutely smashed it. So, Sarina, why don't you do a short introduction and then we'll dive into everything.
Well, thanks for having me, Chad. First of all, I feel very honored to be on the Fit CEO podcast. But I think the biggest thing is that I'm just overwhelmed by the support that I've received through NLCA and going through all the modules and everything. There's so much stuff in there that I wasn't expecting to be in there. And it's been such a great, NLCA is a great community. And when people come in, I feel like everyone feels very welcome. So it's been really, really good.
Hell yeah. So, all right, you have a very interesting story. You've been an assistant coach, you worked for us for a little bit, but it seems like your ultimate destiny was to own an online fitness coaching business. So let's kind of backtrack. Where were you prior to all the success that you've now come upon?
So basically, when I decided I wanted to get into online coaching, I didn't really know that an assistant coach position existed. And I kept thinking to myself, I talked to several people and I was like, I don't want to own my own business. I don't want to be up all night. I don't want to be dealing with this, dealing with that. And so I was guided toward being an assistant coach. And I thought, this is the right thing for me, 100%. This is what I want to do. And then after realizing that I'm the product, people want to come to me for my advice. And the biggest thing is because I built trust with these people. I've worked in the fitness industry for over 10 years and people keep coming to me because they trust me. So everything was kind of going together in my head. Like, how do I make this work for me? And being an assistant coach was great, but it kind of limited my ability to be able to grow myself. So that's when I was like, okay, I was working for Chad at NLCA. Everybody's a great team. And I thought this product is next level. There's nothing like it out there. And just kind of knowing what was in the certified coach program, I was like, I can do this. Like, I can do this. This is meant for me. And 6 weeks in, I'm already crushing it. I love it.
share your if you want to share your numbers really quick, and then I'm going to backtrack on your story a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So I actually didn't launch my business officially until a couple of weeks after I started my certified coach program, mostly because out of respect for the person that I was working for, and everything was great there, but I just wanted to do the right thing. So I waited a little bit to launch my business. And as soon as I did, I got 7 clients in my first week. It's true what you guys say. People are just waiting for you to hit the start button so they can come at it. Let's go. And that's exactly what happened. So it's officially been 6 weeks exactly, 42 days since I started my business or launched it. And I have 16 clients and I've contracted over $23,000 in 6 weeks.
Damn, let's go. That's probably the most amount of money you've made in that period of time in your life, right?
The fact that I made over $5,000 the other day in 2 hours of work, I was like, I could live like this. This is great.
Yeah, 100%. All right, well, hey, let's backtrack a little bit. So when you decided that you were going to go down the assistant coaching route, was there any mindset barriers that prohibited you just to diving right into the online fitness coaching business side of things, like actually being the business owner? Was there any like fear, doubt, anxiety, imposter syndrome, that kind of stuff?
All of the above. It was all those things that I didn't really feel like I could do. I didn't really feel like I had the energy for it, but I think it's more, you're right, it's all mindset. And I think it's because I didn't feel like I was equipped to do that. But learning what certified coach is all about made me realize that I am equipped to do all of these things. So putting together that I have the knowledge to work with people online in both the fitness and nutrition aspect, all the training, all that kind of stuff. And then realizing that, you know what, all the little things that I need to put in place, once I get them put in place, they're going to be there and they're going to be done. And that's what the certified coach program does through NLCA, is it puts you in place, it builds your foundation, and then you can grow from there. It's not stuff you have to go back and do every month, essentially.
100%. And leading up to the point where you decided, you know what, I'm going to start to grow my own online fitness coaching business. what kind of built the belief for you? Like what was the aha moment or allowed you to switch to say, you know what, I can do this?
Without a doubt, working for NLCA, seeing what the certified coach program was before, and honestly, like I'm not just blowing smoke, but getting the guidance and the sales training from you and the team gave me the confidence. Yeah, for sure. I know it truly made me realize if I can sell this product for somebody else, I can probably sell what I know. Like, business coaching. I don't know that, but I do know fitness and nutrition. And I'm like, I can sell this because I am confident in it.
100%. What would the Sarina today tell the Sarina from X amount of months ago who wanted to be an assistant coach?
That's a tough question because I do feel like everything kind of happens organically for a reason. I feel like I needed to do that to get mentally prepared. I'm not
Yep.
sure that even if I was to go back and say, hey, yo, like slap me upside the face and go, you can do this. Why are you wasting your time? I don't feel like I wasted my time. I feel like I eased into this position and was fortunate enough to be able to work for NLCA and learn from you guys and learn everything. It all came together as one thing. It's like mind, body, and spirit. Having it all together, you just elevate.
That's awesome. And it does all kind of happen for a reason, right? Like you did ACA and then you worked for one of our students. And then from there you worked for us. And then that's how you learned about certified coach and look, here you are. So everybody has their own journey and path. And I think that's awesome. So let's chat about your experience now, right? So you're officially a full-time online fitness coach. Kind of talk us through your first month and what led to so much success.
Well, I think the biggest thing, like I said before, was building the trust that had already been built in my clients. I see other of my peers going through the program that they get stressed out. We all get stressed out. Truth, I almost like lost my mind because I hadn't signed anybody up and I was stressing out. And Lacey's like, girl, you need to change your mindset from fear and scarcity to abundance and love. And as soon as I launched that business, it took off. There is strength in that intro post. But I also have a whole network of people that have come to me that I've worked with from over the years that I've built trust in them. And that helped me grow. So while I'm like busting out calls and then I'm doing onboarding calls, and like I was so tired after that first week that I was like blown away. And then you still have to put all your little business plans in place. So even though I've been really successful in the first 6 weeks, I still try to ground myself and say, okay, but don't forget about building the foundation for your business.
100%. And I love that, to carry out momentum. And we talk about this a lot internally and inside of NLCA. You always got to stay disciplined. You always got to go the extra mile. And just because you had that quick success, I like that you keep coming back to grounding yourself on, hey, this is a step-by-step process. Now, there's a lot of people listening to this and they're probably wondering, like, how can I make $26,000 in 6 weeks? Talk them through some of the steps that, like strategic steps that you did to achieve that.
Well, I think the big benefit for me was going through the ACA program before. I had my LLC set up. I had all of those little things set up already. Those don't take a lot of time, but it did put me, let's say, a week in advance, right? So I was able to have all that stuff out of the way and focus. But reaching out and making social media posts was the biggest thing, but relating to people. So my social media posts are like, I made a reel about tracking on Thanksgiving. And when I got to the dinner, I just typed in, fuck it. And this is how you track on Thanksgiving. And people were obsessed with it because everyone thinks, oh, if I go work with an online coach, I have to eat so strict and I'm like, no. So I make sure that people understand what online coaching is and what I offer them. And the name of my company is called Eat Fitness, which stands for Educate and Train. So I want my clients to be educated so that they can go on and have that success for the rest of their lives and not turn around and say, I learned nothing from this. And I think getting people to understand that they're investing in something as opposed to just spinning their wheels has definitely helped my business.
I love your mission. That's really cool and that's powerful. There's going to be a lot of people that listen to this that say, because you mentioned social media post attributing to a lot of your success, there's going to be a lot of people that listen to this without context and say, well, maybe Sarina has 100 bajillion followers and maybe she's been doing this forever. Has social media been something that you've done forever? Has that been a challenge for you? Kind of talk us through that.
I haven't really used Facebook to grow my business in the past or, promote myself up until I started working for NLCA and started getting in the certified coach program. But Facebook, as we know through the modules, is a lot easier to friend people. And Instagram, I mean, to be totally truthful, I probably have 1,300 followers on Instagram. It's maybe grown by like 250 to 300 in the last year. It's not that I have 1 million followers. It's that, like you say in one of your previous podcasts, it's about having quality followers. And the less you have, the more you can relate to them. So I know what my target is. Like you said, my mission statement, I go after and I target the people that would fit into my mission statement and I blow it up. And I use a lot of reels on both Facebook and Instagram and hashtags and all that kind of stuff.
100%. So for those listening, Sarina only has what you said, 1,300 followers on Instagram.
Yes.
How many followers on Facebook?
I have no idea. Maybe 16 or 1,800. I just keep adding. I'm not really sure. Not a lot.
So in total, you have about 3,000 people following you right now, and you were still able to make $26,000 in 6 weeks. So I feel like that's a big misunderstanding that a lot of people have, is that they need that large following. So I appreciate you clearing that up. Let's talk about, where do I want to go with this now? Let's talk about your biggest challenges. What are some of the things that you're still struggling through?
Definitely finding the motivation to DM people. I feel like it's like, for me, it's a drag. I'm like, oh, now I got to sit down and DM people, because there's no like copy and paste situation where you can hit 100 people at once. And so that's just my thing. So I will do it. And I did actually have a client call from a cold DM. Someone started following me and she was really, really great. She's just going to wait till after the holidays, but her and her husband are interested. So I think Alex had posted something on Facebook about, they broke down how many DMs they sent out and broke it down to how many clients they actually got from it. I've gone back and read that like 3 times to remind myself that it only takes 1. So the DMs are super important, but I don't probably put enough time into them as I should.
Now, if it's cool with you, I'd love to do a little bit of coaching.
Yeah.
Just setting the stage here. I don't know if you've gone through the lead generation overview module, but in the beginning, when you are working with a smaller following base, it's kind of boots on the ground. You're sending the DMs. The goal for you, Sarina, is just to get to the point where you have enough cash flow where we can offload that, and then we can start doing paid traffic, and that's where things are really going to start expediting for you. So you're putting in the hard work now, but I promise you won't have to be sending hundreds of DMs in the not so distant future, because you're already doing so well, which is awesome. Any other big challenges that you feel like you're struggling with?
I don't think so, because to be honest, my sales calls have gone really well, because it's all people that know me. So there's been a lot of times where I figure out what that person needs in advance. That's one thing I learned, because I'll start showing them and they're like, oh, I don't know. But if I can find out that they really truly need 12 months instead of 6 months or whatever, then I can guide them toward that. But they've just kind of been like, yeah, I'll just do that paid in full or whatever. It's very casual because they know me and they trust me. Yeah. And I think that's been, but we'll see what happens when I have, more people that I don't really know that well. Sometimes that's a tougher sell.
Yeah, well, you're going to kill it. You're going to crush it.
Thanks.
We haven't talked a whole lot about NLCA. I usually don't like to talk too much about the program specifically in these podcasts. I like to make it about y'all. But just a couple quick things. What do you feel like is your favorite part of the program itself?
I would have to say, that's a tough question, because I feel like there's a lot of value in different things. I find little pieces of value, like going back to the hiring someone. I think back every single time when you just said, like, you're going to put in the work now, but it'll be worth it. You also say in the modules that if you don't know how to do this yourself, you can't hire someone to do it for you. And so I think about that too. I'm like, I got to do this. Yeah. So I try to stay focused, but I think that if I had to choose one thing that I stuck with, it would be the one-to-one coach.
Nice. What do you like about the one-to-one coach?
You have your one-on-one calls with them, but they also usually run a group call. But the group calls also too are good because you get different coach feedback and you could ask these questions, but having the one-to-one coach, it's just gives you that, helps you overcome like the mindset hurdles that you might be facing as well. And there's not a lot of questions I feel like I need to ask because the questions are all answered in the modules. But if something comes up where I need somebody's experience advice, I can ask my coach.
100%. And I love how diligent you are with the modules. Like I could tell that you are really sitting down and watching the videos and trying to dissect everything. And I think that's unique. I don't think a lot of our students actually take that process and procedure. And obviously it's paid well or paid dividends for you. All right, I got one last question. I always ask this on the interviews. What would your advice be for individuals who maybe are just trying to start their online fitness coaching business? They're struggling a little bit. Maybe they haven't made the leap into a mentorship. What would be your advice to an individual like that?
Definitely take the route of having a business coaching program. Everyone I talk to that is successful in this space did not do it themselves. You can't do it yourself. It's just like what I tell the clients. They come to me because they need help. They can't do it themselves. And I don't like to use the word can't because it's pretty strong, but I don't feel like somebody could be successful themselves. And it's worth taking the plunge. It's worth putting in the effort. It's worth the coming home and working however many hours if you already have another job, but building the trust with your viewers, if you will, is probably the best way to go about it. And the CEEP is very important. The community, education, entertainment, and personality. Entertainment is the big one. That's the thing. You have to entertain people or they will not follow you. Like that's where my business comes from, is people knowing my personality and knowing that I'm going to have a good time with my reels.
Yeah, 100%. And I think your personality has shined on this podcast. And Sarina, thank you for coming on. Your success is very inspiring for the individuals listening. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you at?
My Instagram is at coach_Sarina, Sarina. And then my Facebook is Sarina. My maiden name is actually Ukrainian. So it's Sarina Maito for Taylor. So they can just follow me there. Or I mean, through the Fit CEO, through any of your social medias. We're social media friends. So they can stalk me out.
Hell yeah. All right, everybody give Sarina a follow. Sarina, thank you for popping on again and keep crushing it.
Cool. Thanks, Chad.